Hi, this is Vineet Nair, and welcome to MaxEd Talk the Walk. So, yet another edition of Talk the Walk, and today we have with us Mr. Sukesh Shetty, who is the co-founder of Trips for Business. To talk about Trips for Business is based out of Bangalore. It's a startup in a travel technology space. It's in the early stage of seed funding and is backed by some of the leading names in the travel space. It's an AI-powered T&E platform which helps corporate travelers to manage their travel program efficiently. And in a very short span of time, TFB has been able to get an expression of interest from around 200 plus clients in the test space. So welcome, Mr. Sukesh, to this particular MaxEd Talk the Walk, and it's a pleasure to host you on this.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nair. Thank you.
So, Mr. Sukesh, just wanted to ask you, why this Trips for Business? What is Trips for Business all about?
So we are a group of about 12 people now, and all of us have spent a really, really long time in the corporate travel space. So you could say that that's the only skill set that we built, and I'm also proud to say that we are very, very good at it. So that's number one, right? So from a people skill set perspective and the understanding of the market perspective. And the other bit is that while we've been working on this space for a long time, we understand that business travel exhibits a very different behavior, right? It has a very different requirement. Your corporate customer will ask you for corporate rates. They will ask you for policies. They will ask you for company-wide reporting, invoicing. It is not like a vanilla product, like an OTA booking where somebody says, "Hey, give me the best price. I will book and I'll be on my way." I think business travel has a lot more character attached to it, right? So the whole idea for Trips for Business is primarily aimed at simplifying this whole business travel perspective, right? The idea of our platform is to incorporate, these corporate behaviors and just make it available across a single interface. I know that there are a lot of people who are doing similar work in a similar space. You could count us as one more joining the crew, but we definitely do intend to stand out with at least the technology platform that we intend to build and the simplicity of the UI and UX design that we intend to put forth.
So you mean to say that this is going to be the this is going to be the positioning statement? This is how TFB is going to be different from the other platforms?
Absolutely. If I were to just probably take it a step further, right? Like when you mentioned, right, like you said, that is this how you're going to say that TFB is going to be different from other platforms? We need to understand the market landscape at this point of time, right? So if you look at the entire market landscape and you look at the kind of tools which are offered in the market today, you can actually categorize them into two separate categories, right? There is an enterprise platform space, mostly built by travel tech companies, and it's licensed for usage. So your large agencies would probably pick such a platform from a travel tech company, and then they would go and implement it for their customers. You have layers and layers of modules. You have features. There is a deployment timeline as well of about 2 to 3 months. You do a lot of requirement gathering, etc. So it's literally an enterprise product that you're picking up and deploying at a customer location, cloud-based, server-based, whatever that may be. And then you have another product which is more SME based, right? So you have MMT MyBiz, you have Yatra for SME, you have ClearTrip for work. They are simple standalone systems. It's a plug and play model. The idea is very simple. You are a consultant. You probably take care of your own travel bookings, hop onto the website, make a booking, take your invoice, and off you go. So these are the two clear categories. Both categories have their own set of challenges, and then there are common set of challenges which come into play, right? So if you take an enterprise platform, UI UX generally is a little clunky. Customers generally have a lot of requirements when it says, "Hey, I wanted to look in this fashion. I wanted a little more simple." Users find it a little more complicated, by the sheer amount of clicks and buttons and fields and everything that comes up over there. And on the other hand, these SME platforms, which are very simple to use, are not open to customization, right? It's a standalone product. Use it as it is built. And that leaves you with one more space right in the center. You have, like I said, there are different behaviors which are exhibited by a corporate customer, right? You have a corporate customer who says, I need a small product, I need a simple product, but X number of customization. I need a little more enhanced product with X amount of customization. And an enterprise would say, I need a very OTA-esque feel, faster interactions, X number of customizations, but I don't want a large investment cost, etc. Right? So we intend to sit as a layer right there. So the whole idea of this platform is that it can scale up and scale down. It is built internally. It follows a very clean and simple UI UX methodology. We can customize it as you wish because it's actually a platform with microservices built on top of it, right? So if you have your internal systems, you give me and if you are able to do an API integration, we will do it. You pick any common system from the market, any ERP system, HRMS systems, expensing systems, we will do an API integration for you. So we have the product which exhibits its own unique nature, and then it will start morphing itself depending on how your organization wants to use it. Flows can be changed. You want to do an email-based booking, you want to make a self-booking, travel desk-based booking, we will do everything. But the user interface piece would always look simple and light. It'll have that element of a very new age feel to it, but at the back end, there'll be like 100 other things that we will do.
So it's basically what I understand is you are actually plugging, there's a plug and play model into the customer module, what you call the client's module. The
Yes.
clients need not come onto your thing. They, what you call that, with an API, this will be connected to the client's, platform.
Yes, so I start with the standalone system, and I say that I have so many endpoints that I can start connecting into. And we are highly flexible, right? You may just say that, hey, listen, I like your system. I'm not sure whether I want to take the travel content from you. That is okay. We will get you to add more vendors into our system. So in that sense, we are very agnostic, right? So we are saying that we are content agnostic. We are not forcing or pushing you to use the platform. You can either choose not to use our UI and make our platform push data into another UI. So in that sense, we are highly flexible. The whole idea is that we want to be a part of your journey. At the same point of time, we don't want you to feel locked in with us, right? If you want to explore, you can explore. We may either be a part of your journey or we may help in your exploration journey. We will do that. If you are a small SME today who grows into a medium-sized enterprise tomorrow, into a large-sized enterprise tomorrow, we will keep growing along with you and we will keep adding more and more facets of travel to you.
So this will have all the end-to-end solutions, isn't it? Like
yes.
From a travel booking, like if say, somebody wants to go from X place to Y place. So like what is the optimal, the travel plan, everything is integrated into this, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. So anything and everything that you can think of from a corporate travel perspective, and anything and everything that you can think of from a product perspective as well. In fact, we can go to the extent of integrating, like today there is a pandemic, but that is today. Tomorrow there may be something else. Earlier there used to be floods and volcanic ash, and there was this challenge of tracking your traveler. We can go to the extent of integrating an SDK into the mobile, which tracks where your travelers are, and if they so choose to show their locations, we will be able to even track them where they are. So there is no restriction on what you qualify as a travel product. If as a corporate you think this comes under the umbrella of travel and employee transportation, we will go ahead and work with you on that one. I'm sure you'll agree with me that nowadays AI and ML is thrown around so commonly, right? So
yeah, even chatbots for that matter is being termed as an AI. So
AI, right? So Everything is AI today, right? So
Yeah.
everybody claims to do AI and ML. So it then becomes a challenge on how do you explain what exactly are you doing from an AI ML perspective, right? Um, I think the starting point is feeding your systems a lot of data to start making decisions, right? I mean, I think that's where the whole crux of ML starts from. If you want your machine to learn user behavior, user booking patterns, etc., there are lots and lots of data that needs to get in. Um, so we're going to start very slow, right? We are not going to do like a big bang approach. We're going to pick very, very critical topics, and we will measure our rates of success before we keep expanding into it. From an ML perspective, we intend to feed the system a lot of data which is universally available, like flight times, flight information, if there is any delay, cancellations, etc. So that's one piece of information that we intend to feed the system. Now I'm talking purely from a travel perspective, right? And on the other end, we will look at the customer usage and the booking behaviors to build another layer of data. Maybe let me give an example of probably a future state scenario, right? So Dr. Nair generally travels from Kochi to, let's say, Bombay. There are conferences and events that he generally attends. So reading your booking behavior, we probably know that you have preference of a certain slot, to travel. Like if you go for a 1 day travel, you will go at a different slot, maybe because there is a certain time that it takes for you to take a cab from your home to the airport, the waiting time, the travel time to Bombay, and then you intend to come back at a certain time back to your base location, right? So it involves like 2-3 legs of a journey if it's a day trip. And if it's a 2-day plus trip, then you may exhibit a different behavior. You may want to stay at a particular hotel at a particular location, etc. Right? I think in a future state, when you start loading your search results, the search results will start changing, right? It'll start coming up like depending on you say that I want to go for a day travel, or I want to go for a 2-day travel, or I want to go for a 4-day travel to a specific location. We're going to start pulling out flights which we think you are definitely going to take, right? There can be a preference of an airline. There can be a preference of a meal. And there can be a preference of a particular time slot. Okay. You may so choose to, add your meeting schedule in there. So for example, if you say that you have a 9 o'clock meeting, a sharp 9 o'clock meeting, which you have to attend at a particular place, we may pick a particular flight, taking into account the flight time, taking into account the delays which may come into play. Generally, is the flight 100% on time or 80% on time, etc. And we will start throwing those recommendations saying that, hey, listen, for this meeting, this is the flight that you should be taking because we have a 90% confidence that you will make it to this meeting on time, right? I think that's what we want to bring into play. We don't want to be the kind of people who will throw you like 10 results, cheapest first, and then the rest, and then these are your corporate rates, and this is your policy. So pick what you want, and that's it. That's not the whole idea, right? We want to encompass the whole thing. We want to know that you're going for a meeting at a particular time to a particular place. Take into account your flight's preferences. Take into account your company policies, and just throw that information back at you, saying, "Hey, listen, I read everything. I know what you do. I know how you travel. This is what you should be taking," right? I mean, that's where ML comes into play. So from a platform perspective, everything is done. We are currently working on the UI UX design pages. We've been at it for like about 6 to 8 months and some extra layers, right? Like I mentioned, recommendations, flight times, propensity of being on time. We're going to add those extra modules. So, but yeah, you can probably expect a flurry of activities in the next 15 to 20 days. I think that's what the whole idea is. I think on the pricing front, we're going to keep it very simple and straightforward. I know there's a lot of pricing models that exist in the market today. I think there's by PNR, by segment, by domestic, by international, by hotel, etc., etc. But we plan to keep so we may go with with just two models. It may either be a per user pricing, or it may be a per transaction pricing, but the transaction can include anything and everything, right? So if you book a trip, you can add n number of products to it. You can cancel it, you can amend it, you can do whatever you want to do, but it'll just be one single price. So we want to keep it very simple and a quick recall as well. I'm sure you understand how the market is today, right? There is pandemic, there is fear of travel, news across the industry, corporate travel is dead, etc., etc. So, you know, like you also mentioned earlier, we have an expression of interest from a significant amount of customers. So from a launch perspective, what we really want to do is there are about 150 to 200 customers that we have who are already a part of our initial launch plan. So first, we're going to go ahead and do the deployment. They are also going to be one of our initial users. So there'll be a lot of back and forth. There'll be a lot of testing and changes that's going to keep happening. So I think the first 3 months, we're not going to do any kind of activity, LinkedIn, social media marketing and all that. We're going to refrain from it. Mostly it's going to be word of mouth, considering that there is already a base that needs to be catered to. And then the idea is about 5 or 6 months down the line, when I think the market eases up a little bit, there is more clarity around quarantine, non-quarantine rules on international, domestic travel, etc. And I think that's when we're gonna come out with more of our marketing campaigns. By then, we will have enough user testimonials as well. So yeah, that's what the whole plan is. Right now, we're gonna keep it very discreet. There will be not much marketing activity done at all. There's already a set of customers. We're just gonna go and concentrate on them.
So thank you very much for coming to MaxEd Talk the Walk, Mr. Sukesh.
Thank you, Dr. Nair. I really hope to come back again and talk to you about how awesome the product is. Of course, we are all riding on a dream and a prayer today, and with the skills of the people who are backing us. Once it comes to fruition, I'm sure I would love to have some more conversations around it. But thank you very much for taking your time out today.